Imagine a quiet moment in Silicon Valley where billion-dollar decisions are made behind closed doors. One of those decisions just shocked the tech world. AMD, Nvidia's longtime rival, offered OpenAI the chance to own up to 10% of its company, a move so bold that even Nvidia's legendary CEO Jensen Huang said he was surprised. His reaction was simple. "It's clever, but I'm surprised they'd give away 10% before they even built it." Coming from the man who practically defines the modern GPU industry, that comment carried weight. The story begins with AMD trying to break through Nvidia's dominance in artificial intelligence chips. For years, Nvidia has been the silent engine powering every major AI breakthrough, from ChatGPT to image generators to autonomous driving. Their GPUs have become the gold standard, their CUDA software ecosystem nearly impossible to rival. AMD, despite its strengths, has lived in Nvidia's shadow in this arena, until now. In October 2025, AMD made an announcement that would ripple through the entire AI ecosystem. The company struck a deal with OpenAI, the same OpenAI that built ChatGPT, to supply its upcoming generation of AI chips, the Instinct MI450. Over the next several years, this deal could power data centers equivalent to 6 gigawatts of AI compute. But here's where it gets interesting. Along with that deal, AMD granted OpenAI special warrants, the right to buy up to 160 million shares of AMD stock at a symbolic price if certain milestones are met. If OpenAI exercises those rights, it would own about 10% of AMD. 10% of a company valued at hundreds of billions of dollars, given not for cash, but for partnership, for commitment, for belief in a shared future. And that's what caught Jensen Huang's attention, because it wasn't just a business deal, it was a chess move, one that rewrites how the AI hardware world operates. Think about it. For the first time, a major chip maker is saying to its biggest potential customer, "Don't just buy from us, own a piece of us." It's a relationship built on mutual dependence. If AMD succeeds, OpenAI profits. If OpenAI scales, AMD gains credibility, revenue, and momentum. It's risk married to ambition. And yet the move carries enormous stakes. Huang's comment about giving it away before it's built wasn't sarcasm, it was a warning. AMD's chips are still ramping up to match Nvidia's legendary performance in AI workloads. Their software stack, RACM, still trails Nvidia's CUDA in maturity and support. So when AMD made this offer, it was effectively saying, "We'll stake part of our company's value on our ability to catch up." That's not just bold, that's existential. But their strategy behind the risk. For OpenAI, this isn't charity. By securing potential ownership in a hardware supplier, OpenAI reduces its dependence on Nvidia, the same Nvidia that every AI startup, lab, and corporation is fighting to get GPUs from. Supply is tight, prices are high, and demand is endless. By aligning itself with AMD, OpenAI gets priority access, influence, and possibly cheaper long-term costs. Meanwhile, AMD positions itself as the savior of the AI hardware bottleneck. It sends a message to the industry. We're not second place, we're partners in the future of intelligence. The deal creates what analysts are calling co-ownership ecosystems, where customers and suppliers blur lines, turning each other into stakeholders rather than adversaries. Behind closed doors, investors have mixed feelings. Some call it genius, a long-term alignment that forces collaboration and innovation. Others call it dangerous, a dilution of corporate independence that could backfire if AMD underperforms or OpenAI's needs shift. But for now, markets reacted with fascination. AMD stock spiked on the announcement, while Nvidia shares wavered briefly, a sign that even giants feel tremors when boldness enters the room. Jensen Huang, though surprised, didn't dismiss the move. His tone hinted at respect, maybe even a little curiosity. He's a strategist who knows that every empire faces challengers willing to burn the old playbook. He's seen companies take risks like this before, and he knows that sometimes it's the reckless bets that change everything. Still, Nvidia remains the undisputed leader. Its chips dominate training runs for GPT-5, Anthropic's Claude, Google's Gemini, and countless others. But the winds are shifting. The AI gold rush has exposed a bottleneck. The world simply doesn't have enough GPUs. Whoever solves that shortage or offers a credible alternative wins a seat at the top table of the digital economy. That's what AMD is betting on, not just performance parity, but timing. If they can deliver powerful chips fast enough, and if OpenAI's infrastructure depends on them, they carve out a future that Nvidia can't monopolize. Offering equity wasn't a desperate move, it was an accelerant, a way to fuse financial and technological loyalty in a single transaction. Behind all the headlines, though, there's a subtle psychological game unfolding. Huang's reaction wasn't just business commentary, it was a signal to his team, his partners, his investors. Nvidia sees the move, Nvidia respects it, but Nvidia isn't afraid. That's how empires respond to insurgents, with composure, not panic. Yet history shows that revolutions often start with disbelief. When AMD offered 10% to OpenAI, they weren't just betting on chips, they were betting on the idea that the future of AI would be built through alliances, not monopolies. In a world where computing power is becoming the new oil, control over that power is control over progress itself. So the question isn't whether AMD's move was risky, it's whether Nvidia underestimated the hunger of those who've lived too long in its shadow. Huang called it clever, but clever moves, in business, are sometimes the ones that rewrite history. In the coming years, this deal will be studied, debated, and maybe even imitated. Other chip makers, from Intel to startups like Cerebras and Grok, may start offering equity partnerships too, each trying to tie themselves to the next OpenAI, Anthropic, or xAI. It's a new form of industrial courtship, where chips meet code and power meets profit. For now, the industry holds its breath. AMD has made its move, OpenAI has accepted the gamble, Nvidia watches, calm but calculating. The game board is set, and every decision from here could shift billions in market value. And somewhere in Silicon Valley, a few engineers are working through the night, not just to build chips, but to prove that this deal was worth the risk. Because if AMD's technology lives up to the promise, that 10% might one day be the most valuable gift ever given in tech history. And if it fails, it will stand as one of the boldest, most fascinating gambles in the story of artificial intelligence. Either way, it reminds us that in this new era of machines that think, the humans behind them are still the ones taking the biggest risks.